GM, welcome back to the channel. Today is when day in terms of when the token airdrop is coming from Jupiter. So Jup, the token comes roughly 1 week out, so 31st of January, but today we have the when meme coin airdrop. So I'm going to cover both of these in this video. And as you can see, we're on a little bit of a pump here this morning. Most things up a good few percentages. BTC above 41.1 there. Sol now above 90 bucks. So if you enjoy the content today and you get some value from it, drop me a comment down below and also subscribe to the channel. And we'll jump in. So as mentioned, the Jup token airdrop comes just under 1 week's time, so the 31st of January 2024. Highly anticipated, as this will bring a load of liquidity to the chads, the degens here on Solana. Everyone's getting an airdrop, everyone's getting stimmies, everyone will have disposable income. So it's going to be super interesting to see how this affects the overall ecosystem. And typically you would imagine number go up as a result. Now in terms of the Jup allocation, 50% is managed by team, 50% to community. Now the initial drop here is just of around 15 to 20% of tokens. So there's going to be 10% of tokens going to the community airdrop for Jup. Somewhere in the region of 900,000 wallets have qualified. And then around 5 or even up to 10%, depending on what they do, in liquidity, that amount of percentage of the total supply will be added as well. So they say somewhere between 15 to 20% of all tokens will be circulating straight away. 10 billion tokens in total. So we're looking between 1.5 and 2 billion Jup. So more on this as we progress throughout the week. What is Jup currently trading at? Well, over on Whales markets, there's some orders being filled here. People paying roughly 52 to 55 cents is what I'm seeing on this OTC market for Jup at this current point. So you can calculate what your airdrop is likely to be as a result from that. And if you haven't checked out whether you're eligible for the airdrop, Solana airdrop checker, this website here, I'll leave a link down below, as this has all of the alpha. And behind my head, there is the when token airdrop. You can see there's a green tick there, as this is one of my wallets. And roughly what you're going to be getting for these when tokens is around 600,000, I believe, per participant. So what is when? This is Weir Meow. This is one of the builders at Jupiter, and this is their second actual meme coin that they're launching here. We've already seen Mock Jup, more on that in just a sec, but when is the latest one being released here to test a lot of the functionality for how Jup will come to market. So he did a long post here. Essentially, we'll go through these 5 points real quick. First and foremost, there's a poem. The poem has been created into an NFT. They've also created a brand new NFT standard for this to thus tokenize and shred up this NFT into 1 trillion pieces. And that is the token airdrop. So this is a tokenized NFT airdrop. So 1 trillion pieces of the poem that this guy has created, which is pretty damn hilarious. Point 4 is this is the first culture token in crypto. He's got a full thesis on and around when, as people ask when all the time. When is XYZ going to be delivered? When airdrop? When marketing? It is just part of the crypto lore. And this will be the first LFG Launchpad project. So this is part of Jupiter's Launchpad. And this is for them to discover all the kind of quirks around that and if it runs well or not. So when, this is their website. You can find it from their socials, and top right hand corner, claim airdrop is probably where you want to come for this. The airdrop is coming rather soon in terms of that when, and here is the poem on the left hand side. I'll leave you to read that in your own time if you so wish. But if you click on the actual main website here, so it's lfg.jup.ag, and you can see some information on here. So if you just scroll down, 3 hours until the airdrop is claimable. So this will be at roughly 3 p.m. That is UTC time today on the 26th of Jan. What details do we need to know? You'll be coming here to actually hit the claim button, and you have 3 days to claim this within. So until the 29th of Jan. If you don't claim within that window, they will burn all subsequent when tokens. So keep that in mind. And if, of course, there's a lot of unclaimed tokens at that point, this thing becomes a bit more scarce, which would be cool. as it is a 1 trill max supply. Now, if we just go down, this is the launch pool status here. They have funds good to go here on Meteora. I can see it on this tab here. They've allocated 20% of all the tokens to this liquidity pool. There's no USDC in the pot, so nothing really for people to dump into straight out the gates. Thus, we need people to bid this for it to have real value. So quite an interesting launch mechanic. And this is where the current price lies, and then it ramps up via this kind of curve here. So the fully diluted market cap will be starting at 1 mil and goes all the way up to 3 mil to sell out this pool. So that will be 20% of tokens available to be bought here on this market. And I do believe it is this website you have to come to actually bid for this. So this is where you can get access to the pool rather easily. I watched the full tutorial and kind of long rant that Weir Meow did yesterday on Twitch. Is like 2.5 hours, and he was setting up his bids on here. So I would highly recommend following suit and doing the same. So you're going to be able to buy this thing between a 1 mil FTV up to a 30 mil FTV. 70% of the tokens are going to airdrop participants. As I said, 20% to this pool and 10% to the treasury for management. And this pool will last for those 3 days. So rather interesting to see how this one will work out. I think a lot of people will try and bid this straight out the gates. Things to be aware of here: max swap per transaction for the first 2 minutes is 50 million WEN tokens. Essentially, they're trying to stop big snipes coming in and buying up a load of this supply, and also stopping people, if they've got large airdrop claims, to just dump this thing as well. So there is this kind of 2-minute window where the actual cap is in play. So what you can do is actually bid on this beforehand, either through DCA or through limit orders. You can set these up now, which is quite interesting. The swap function, of course, not live until the pool opens at 3 p.m. UTC. So if you wanted to come in here now, they've set up a few things on here. I would actually do this via USDC to WEN, because that is the pool. I think you're more likely to get the transaction through rather than having to maybe do a swap from SOL to USDC and then USDC into WEN. So I will be doing it from USDC. But the max fee here down the bottom, it will say 0.001. So that is what the initial will be. But you may want to ramp your fee up slightly just to ensure you can front run others. So what you would do if you're going to DCA, you would set the amount you want to actually convert. So in this just example here, 20 SOL into WEN. And then you can select the interval. So say you want to do a bid for each and every minute across 10 orders. This means you will have 10 orders going in 10 minutes in total. And this will therefore split at 20 SOL into 2 SOL orders. And then we'll go off 2 SOL, 2 SOL, 2 SOL up until 10 minutes has passed. And then you'll, of course, spend 20 SOL and you'll get an amount of the WEN token back, but you won't know what amount of WEN token you're going to get back. It will just be market buying for you. So here you can see the max price at which you're willing to bid as well. So it's currently set to the maximum for this pool, as we've seen per this price curve. So it would actually let you buy up until that 30 mil FDV. So if you don't want to actually buy at a 30 mil FDV, you may want to adjust this down. So say you wanted to do this at 2, so that would be roughly a 20 mil FDV. Bear in mind this is on SOL, you'll want this on USDC, I would imagine, but this will then bid up until it hits 20 mil market cap, and then it won't bid above that level for you. So you can play with this as you so wish. If you don't want to spend too much, you can obviously set your limits on here. So then you would just click Start DCA, and that would be set up to go for you. Now, if there's a lot of network congestion, maybe they won't go through initially on the first minute, but it will just keep trying and trying and trying until it does execute. So do bear that in mind as well. And then we have limit orders. So here, just to showcase in USDC, say you wanted to bid 100 USDC at a particular price point, you can do that. So straight out the gates, this is at a 10x current standing. So this would be at a 10 mil market cap. So maybe you want to reduce that and say, look, I'm willing to buy at a 5 million market cap. I'm willing to spend $100 and get that amount of WEN tokens. And then you would actually just click to confirm that, and it will buy that for you at 5 mil market cap. So in a way, you can kind of get what you want, But on the flip side, maybe this thing trades a lot lower than that. But this would essentially secure the bag once it gets to that price point. So there's a few things to think about in terms of what do you think this thing maybe goes past straight out the gates, because I'm sure quite a few people will come in and just try and scoop up a load of the supply. But on the flip side, you don't want to overpay for the token either. So that will be, of course, for you to think about in your own time there. But I'll be placing a DCA strategy plus some limit orders as well on here and just leaving that and then just seeing what happens at 3 p.m. and seeing how those get filled or not. And if they're not getting filled for whatever reason, maybe I'll just swap and buy a little bit of this, because I think it's cool to actually get involved with this WEN token. If this does well, it bodes very well for the JUP token next week. And it's obviously quite a funny one. WEN is obviously part of the crypto lore at this point. So why not bid this thing? I'm sure a lot of people will at some point as well. So we'll see how things progress with this. 3 days to claim and then remaining tokens getting burned. Then a quick bit here on the first meme coin of mock JUP that was released. This thing is down like 40-50% overnight, which is quite interesting. People obviously selling this off in anticipation for the WEN token. But I think this may also be a bit of a play here. So mock JUP, the banter around this and the meme is that it's all about the zero boys sending this thing to damn zero. It has no value, as they say, and so it should go down to zero, but for some reason it has not. So the price point for this thing at $0. Now, Wimmy is quite bullish on this and keeps shouting about it. So it might actually be a play to maybe purchase some of this as well, as maybe both of these coins do really well going into the actual JUP airdrop. And the fact that these are the JUP mascots, the meme coins behind them, you know, it may not be a bad purchase. Yesterday, someone put in like 40k right at the top. They're down 50% overnight, currently trading at around 1 penny, FDV at around 11-12 mil market cap. They did the same thing previously with this. A load of the tokens were not claimed and thus they burnt them. So 80% of the supply was burnt previously. So that is also something to think about. Once this had occurred, this thing started to go on a moon mission afterwards. So if a lot of people, like we've just seen the blueprint here, if a lot of people don't claim the WEN token and then a load get burned, and if it looks like a load are going to get burned, maybe it'll be a good time to actually bid some before the burn takes place and people realize this thing gets 80% more scarce or whatever it may be. So when, today is the WEN, 3 p.m. UTC time. We will see you guys in the order book. Hope you have a good weekend. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.